a check on the housing market here in the United States and how the Chinese stock market, whether it's hurting or potentially helping out the U.S. housing market. Here to talk a little bit about that is Rick Sharga. He's Executive Vice President at Auction.com. He joins us on the phone from Irvine, California. Rick, good to be talking with you again. Make the connection for us about the Chinese stock market and what's going on in U.S. real estate. First of all, I mean, are Chinese investors big buyers in U.S. real estate?
Yeah, it's great to be back on the show. Yes, Chinese investors have been a major player in the U.S. housing market, particularly on the coasts and in very, very large numbers in markets in California. So it's not insignificant to see the kind of economic uncertainty that a stock market crash could deliver to in terms of the U.S. housing market.
Can you just quantify or qualify a little bit more? I mean, how big are the Chinese investors? I mean, I know you go down to Miami and stuff, and people talk about just kind of, in general, you've seen European investors, Latin American investors, but how big a player are the Chinese in markets like California? Is it 5% of the market? Is it 10? Do we know?
It's hard to put an exact percentage on it, and one of the reasons is that a lot of Chinese investment comes in through U.S.-based intermediaries. A lot of these investors form U.S. LLCs to do the buying, to get around some of the challenges you have as an international buyer buying a property over here. But it's, let's put it this way: the Chinese passed the Canadians in the past year, according to the National Association of Realtors, as the largest group of foreign buyers. Mm-hmm. So it's a significant percentage. It's probably not in the 20-25% range, but among foreign investors, it's the largest segment.
So, Rick, it's a short-term drop, it seems. We're picking back up steam in China. So, I mean, will it take a while for Chinese investment here to go away? I mean, is there a lag effect?
I think there could be a lag effect, but I think what we're seeing, interestingly, since the crash is the opposite of what a lot of people might have expected. There was a report that came out yesterday that suggested the strength of the U.S. dollar is making it more challenging for foreign investors in general to purchase U.S. properties. We haven't seen that on our Auction.com platform. We've actually seen an increased level of interest and activity from Chinese and other offshore investors. So it looks almost like, in spite of the drop-off in the stock market and in spite of the strength of the dollar, there's almost a flight to safety, it appears, going on from foreign investors who are looking at the stock market in China as being too volatile, and are looking at things going on in Europe as being too risky as well.
So a bit of a safe haven play here, perhaps.
Well, it really is, and I think that's been one of the attractions for Chinese buyers about American properties, is there aren't a lot of really good investment opportunities floating around right now. If you're interested in stocks, you have to really have a stomach for the kind of roller coaster ride that the Chinese stock market really represents. And U.S. real estate is really viewed as one of the safer investments because of faith investors have in the U.S. economy in the long run, and oddly enough, because they have more faith in the U.S. government than they have in their own local governments. So there is a lot of that. We're seeing, by the way, similar levels of investment, relatively speaking, on the commercial side. So the Chinese investors are buying both residential and commercial real estate here in the States.
Rick, tell us a little bit about Auction.com.
Auction.com is an online real estate marketplace. We're the largest online real estate marketplace in the world. We sold about 60,000 properties online last year. It's sort of an eBay for real estate.
It seems like there are sites proliferating now. You have Redfin and obviously Auction.com and so many more. What differentiates Auction.com?
Well, Auction.com is one of the very few sites that you can actually finish your transaction online. So, as I said, sort of like eBay for real estate, you go up into a timed auction event, you make your bids, and you actually execute the transaction online. The other sites, like Redfin, for example, have a lot of really good web-based tools that you can use to do analysis and find properties, but the transaction itself still takes place offline. So big
interesting,
difference.
Because it feels like the era of the broker is at least changing, if not going away.
It will. It will change. The buyers of real estate, both residential and commercial, are taking more control of the process. The broker's role used to be the purveyor of all the information about a real estate transaction. They had all the MLS records, and they would show you which properties were available. In today's market, the buyer very often contacts an agent and says, hey, I have 3 properties I'm interested in. Can you help me go look at them? So it's evolving rapidly, and we're seeing real estate processes move more and more heavily online. I believe 10 years from now, the majority of real estate transactions will actually be executed online.
Rick, got about 15 seconds here. You guys play in both the residential and commercial real estate markets. What you're seeing, it tells you what kind of about the market environment, just quickly.
The commercial market is in full recovery. We're at all-time highs in terms of transaction volume and prices. Residential market is still about 2 years away.
All right, going to leave it on that note. Hey, Rick, thank you. Always good to get time with you. Rick Sharga, he is the Executive Vice President over at Auction.com, joining us on the phone from Irvine, California.